Welcome to the 99th episode of the Sawdust Nation Podcast. We have a great show for you this evening. I'm Nick, your host from NPG Creations. We also have Josh from North Country Woodworking with us and Nap from Nap's Naughty Works LLC. Welcome, boys. We're gearing up, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're heating up. That's right. Next week, this time, Josh will be down here, right? Or no, you'll be here on Thursday.
Nope,
no, he'll be
there
here
Tuesday.
Oh, you'll be here on Tuesday?
That's
Neat.
when we record.
Oh, I didn't know. I have my first day. So,
We know.
lots been going on in the shops, guys. Nap's walking away. So I'm going to ask Josh, what's going on in your shop, man? I know you got some stuff going on.
Oh, yeah, of course. I have plenty going on in the shop. I actually got pretty much caught up. The one thing I was behind on were those karate signs, and they're delivered, and he loves them. I'm actually going to be doing 2 more smaller signs for him for the dojo. So that's actually working out fairly well. It looks good hanging up, and, a lot of people asking questions of where you got that. And my name obviously pops up, and a lot of great advertisement. So I'm pretty happy with how those came out, even the one I don't think is the best. After painting the top of the lettering, it looks a lot better, and it's going to go up really high. So you're not going to know some of the details that didn't get carved due to the Z-axis problem I had. So that's always a positive. Let's see.
By the way, I don't want to interrupt, but I am interrupting. I saw that sign you posted. That was legit, man.
Oh yeah.
At first, I was like, I don't know who made that, but that's pretty cool. And I was like, oh, that's Josh's.
You're talking about the one with the painted lettering?
Yeah.
That's the one that I made mistakes on.
I thought it looked good, man.
Final one. Well, that's the thing is, like, when I presented both to him, he goes, what's the difference? I'm like, you see this little stuff here and there? He goes, oh, I would never notice that. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not going to give you a crappy product, man. It needs to meet my standards before it leaves the shop, and it didn't. So now he has 2 signs he's very happy with. So, but thank you. I do appreciate that. It means actually quite a bit, considering that one sign I don't think is the best. But shadow boxes, I've been doing left and right. I actually had 6 scheduled for this month. The one from Texas backed out, and then one from here backed out because they had a different plan for him. Probably found someone cheaper. You know how that goes. Regardless, I did 2 this month, the security forces, and then a E8 Marine. I thought they came out pretty good. The last one was probably one of my better ones. Obviously I'm refining the procedures and getting it down, figuring out different ways to go about, making sure that the acrylic doesn't get any nasty stuff on there, as working around it and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, working with UV applicator there from Totoboat has changed the game with acrylic. I am not worried about any smudges. I am not worried about drying time, because with the UV light, it dries fairly quickly, and it's hard instantly after. That's just like me. UV light on there. Yeah, we know. That's why we don't do UV lights in the podcast. Long story short, I have a bunch of projects in June that are going to be due, but for this month, I don't have maybe 2 left, and they're ones that one's a plaque and one's a small project that doesn't really have a due date, but I'm trying to get done this week. I got plenty of orders. I've had people reach back out to me with projects that I priced quite a while ago that now they got approval for. So I am going to be doing a couple of those. Not the big one yet. I got to check in with him. But yeah, things are going well. I got a lot of projects lined up, but I'm pretty much, for the most part, I am done for the month. Nothing is due between now and June 1st. That gives me plenty of time to start packing my bags, tidying up the shop, getting some sawdust secured, and making my way down to Texas for the 100th episode on Tuesday. When we'll be doing a recording. So that's a busy week for me. I'll be seeing these gentlemen and some of our Patreons and any other listeners that want to, pop in and say hi. And then I'll be coming back and going right on to a fishing trip with my family. And then after that, coming back and starting work in the shop, because I'll have stuff due the following week. So busy. But you know what? It is kind of nice not having anything due tomorrow or the next day. I go in the shop and I'm working on stuff that's due much later on. I got nothing that is past due, so it's a good feeling. I can't complain.
Oh, what a beautiful feeling!
Oh, you don't want to see me dance. But yeah, and the laser's working great. I don't know how I did shadow boxes before I had that laser. Like, the amount of time savings it has for me is just truly amazing. It has changed the game in such a big way. And then having my CNC, go ahead.
Would you ever go back to a Glowforge?
Oh, absolutely not. I wouldn't go back to a Glowforge when I had the Glowforge.
Okay, I was just wondering.
There's nothing wrong with a Glowforge, and I've said this before. If it works for you, it works for you. But I needed a power horse, and now I got one. So I can't go back to anything like a Glowforge again. And the CNC is on point and working really well. It's actually scary because I had so many problems there for a good clip. Every time I run it, I kind of just stare at it, wondering what's going to happen next. And then I get, I step away for a while, I'll do some projects, and I come back, and I'm like, still working. And it comes off crisp and clean, and I'm like, maybe we're good for a while. So it's
maybe
it's one of those things where it's acting good for now. I'm waiting for the next hiccup, but maybe I'll sell it before then and be on my way to a different CNC. Who knows? But I'm going to throw it off to Nap and see what's happening in his shop.
Got a lot going on in the shop, believe it or not, in my 3 jobs and everything. Yeah, all 3 jobs. I haven't taken another job, all 3 jobs. I actually passed another job off to another maker to get his feet wet with a different style of job. So that was pretty cool. We're giving him a little bit of a hand with it as well. But between my job duties shifting and doing stuff for the 100th and all these things, it's been pretty busy. So starting with non-woodworking stuff, work stuff. So there's this thing called a first sergeant. And I've had to do those duties as what they call the undershirt. I think it's a funny name, to be honest with you. The shirt and they have the undershirt, it just sounds funny to me. But I've been essentially doing his job, which is essentially taking care of people while they're attending the schoolhouse, dealing with any issues that they have, securing food for certain instances, travel things and resources, all sorts of fun stuff. So my responsibility has been interesting the past, really a couple months, but it really got busy this week.
So would you say nowhere. You're the HR of the Air Force or that squadron?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's kind of how that is. That's a good way to parallel that.
Yeah.
It's been cool, I guess, but it's just interesting. The week prior to me getting ready to just give that responsibility back, it just got busy. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. Last week of doing this, and they're just going to get hit with everything. Not a big deal, though. So we got that going on. So it's been kind of cutting down on how much time I can spend in the shop right as soon as I get home. But getting into the shop, I, again, have been helping makers out. Matter of fact, I did help Nick unbox something relatively large today, and he'll tell you more about that here shortly. And then I went to John Davis's house over at Why Not Woodworks, sorry, and helped him realign his laser. Come to find out, the alignment was good, but it wasn't like spot on. So we went ahead and rectified that issue. But also, if you happen to have a lens upside down, this happened, I think, when we cleaned it. We might have put it upside down, not 100% sure. But make sure you put it the right side up because you can damage the lens. Go figure. And he ended up ordering a new lens, and he's now cutting through 1/8-inch material and 1/4-inch material, one pass between 25 and 35%. And that's Baltic birch plywood, which is pretty impressive with a 60-watt Omtech. So he's killing it with that thing now. 7.5. I think he said he dialed it in at like 8 millimeters a second. So no faster really than what we already do.
Yeah.
But
still,
that tells me I need to get a new lens. Yeah, I need to get a new lens because that means my stuff can cut through that with even lower power, which would be awesome. So we got that figured out. And now I haven't been posting a lot as far as like what I've been doing. I maybe had a couple stories here and there, but let's be real, folks. I got a lot going on, and posting on Instagram, it's not my first priority right now. I've been getting a couple stories out here and there, but I don't have time for it at the moment. But I will post and catch up eventually. But one of the jobs I got, which the patrons that are watching, if we have any watching, I'm not on YouTube up. But this is one of the things, and it's Clamp City right now. But this is one of my projects. It's this shield thing. It's one of our emblems for our squadron. and I'm about to knock stuff over or break my computer. One of the two. Not a big deal.
I think you're missing
Don't
a
need
clamp
that.
there, man. There's an inch gap without a clamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. No, so I had to do as much pressure as possible because I'm not gonna lie to you. So I've treated this like any other inlay. I turf flipped it over, or I carved the front, but I carved the back. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, if I'm gonna go ahead and make a recess for this, I'm not gonna go cut the outline, flip it, and then cut it. So I just cut it all at once, and I made essentially a spot for this cherry backer to inlay into the frame, which got kind of sketchy because there's a lot of thin parts on that thing. And it wasn't fitting at first, and I was like, this isn't good. Like, the program said this was going to fit, and it should have been fine. I even did the tolerances and everything. Well, to my amazement, when you, I guess wood stretches, I don't know. It was just weird. I finagled this thing, and it fit perfect. Once I got it to fit perfect the first time, I was able to punch it out. Not literally punch it out, but get it out of there, glue it, and as you saw, clamp the ever-living heck out of it. And then the other job I got going on is that hat case. I actually just finished carving the bottom panel for it. So for the legs and the plywood insert areas, if you will. So that's ready. I literally just have to make the legs, sand everything, put lights in it, laser etch some stuff, finish it, and that's done. So like the hard part's done at this point, which was the carving. And then I got the final plaque that's due Friday that I haven't even started yet, but it's a plaque. It'll take me like 2 solid days, like between design, making it, and finishing it. He said he doesn't need till Friday night, and the guy knows me personally, so he's going to pick it up to me from before he goes to his little outing that he's going to with this particular item. So I'm not really too worried about it. That's like the least amount of stress I have when it comes to making. I'm going to make sure my shop is nice and clean. Hopefully all my jobs are done by Monday. So when Josh shows up, he can see my shop clean and not just a mess, like a tornado destroyed it.
I have realized that it's a natural state, man, of the shops. It just is.
It is. But, when you show off your toys, you don't show your toys off when they're dirty. I'm just saying.
Make sure they're charged.
Yeah, I will. Don't worry. Go ahead.
I mean,
Nick?
We don't clean our shops for each other, so I don't understand.
I clean my. It's special. I actually pick my shop up a lot of the time.
It's our first meeting.
First meeting. It's like I got to break them in, kind of like when you meet a girl for the first time, right? So,
do I get chocolates and flowers too?
Yeah, exactly. But one other thing I did end up making, which was a new development, I made stickers, guys. And I used Maker Stock's awesome cherry veneer stuff. And for our patrons that are getting these bags, you are getting the first ever made 100th episode Sawdust Nation Podcast cherry veneered stickers with that 3M backing. And I'm going to finish these. They haven't been I haven't put no finish on them yet, but I will put some finish on them. I might even just throw some Halcyon on top of that. I don't know. It sounds like a plan. We'll see what happens.
You should probably just throw some Halcyon on top of those things.
Hey man, you're right. Might have to punch you in. Never mind when I come see. Oh look, and speaking of new toys, I'll get ready to throw it over here to Nick in a minute because he may have posted something on IG. But
it's a teaser.
It's a teaser.
Just
but nobody would know what that is. It's just huge and says "beaming with possibilities" on it.
I put your.
I think that's really.
I recognize that box in the head.
I recognize the back of that head. Check it out.
Wait, hold on. Don't tell me you got me in this stupid thing again.
Yep.
I swear to Christ. This guy has an infatuation with catching. Yeah, he does. Back of my dome right there.
Yeah.
I'm doing a detail, sir. So kiss my.
Actually, my property is a no hat, no salute zone, so I haven't posted.
Let's see. Just make sure I'm not missing anything here, just because a lot has gone on this week, and just make sure. Nope. I think that's really about it. The week is all the moving into things. My kid's in Fort Worth, so he's not here. You won't see him probably until episode 104.
104.
Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Crazy, man.
If we're lucky. But I have a whole list of awesome stuff on here, and I got to continue messaging this person with possibly maybe securing one more giveaway for our 100th episode. So
what do we have so far?
I'm going to throw it on. I'll tell you at the end.
Oh, you're going to make him wait to the end. Okay.
Yeah, got to make him wait to the end. They got to listen to the whole thing.
Got to build that anticipation. All right. So lots been going on in my shop. I am gearing up to shut the shop down for a week for like, I believe it's the second week in June. So I've got to get all of my work out of the way. And what doesn't help is when you build the wrong shadow box for a customer and you send it to them. It was an accident. They're cool. Honest mistake.
Cool.
So check it out. During development phase of this project for this person, the idea was floated to do one of my regular shadow boxes, like the ones that I normally do. And then later I did an invoice and whatever, and then they amended everything, and then after the fact. So I amended the invoice, and I had like 3 shadow boxes to do in between that time period and then the time period when I started their project. So when I went back, I looked at the old invoice, which was still open because I didn't change that invoice. I started a new one. I should have just deleted that invoice. That's my fault. Anyway, so I built them. I built them a shadow box, a beautiful shadow box, mind you. I'm going to get it back, and pretty soon it'll be available. Once I get them the right one. One thing, no, it won't be used. They're gonna put their stuff in it for the actual ceremony, and then I'll get them the corrected one here in the next couple of weeks. But I thought I was making progress. Apparently not. I just, when you do stuff like that, you're kind of moving sideways instead of forward. So I'm busting out shadow boxes on a record pace as of right now. I've got 2 glue ups in the two glued up in the shop right now, panels for like facades, and actually doing a coin rack at the same time. A couple of little plaques. Just trying to knock the last few things out before I have to leave. People are trying to come at me and order more things. Most people are like, okay, it's like a month out. I'll go see if I can order something for this guy's going away. And they call me and they're like, is it enough time? And I'm like, no, because I won't be able to, I just can't. I want to make sure I'm not busting at the seams here with work, because for one, Nap came over today when I had a delivery. There was a
sketchy, by the way.
Oh yeah, so we definitely loaded this. I downloaded this crate like a real aerial porter would. The guy calls me, so the truck driver calls me, cool dude, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. Truck driver calls me, he's like, hey man, I got this crate. You got a forklift? I'm like, bro, I live in a subdivision. Well, I mean, I told your freight line when I set up the delivery that I needed a giant lift gate and or a forklift to be accompanied with it. So I don't know what to tell you. He's like, well, it's going to just hang over the edge of the lift gate if I put it on there. I'm like, I'm cool with that, because I know, you can throw a strap over that thing, strap it to the front side of the lift gate, and it won't teeter or anything like that. And then lower it down, undo the strap, and pick it up with the pallet jack. And that's just what we did. Just took a little while. Thing was heavy. Me and Nap and the neighbor, we pushed it up the driveway and uncrated it up there. I gotta say, OhmTech, they have some decently robust crates. The whole bottom part of it is tubed aluminum or tubed steel. Or it's a steel. I couldn't believe it. The first one I got wasn't steel. It was wood, but it wasn't as big.
Yeah, but this is much heavier too. Yeah.
Yeah. So we pulled the lid off, pulled everything out, and got it in the garage. I have it set up right now, but I still have to dial it in. I've got it to the point where I've got water running through the tube, the chiller's running good, everything's plugged in, the fans are all working, but it is pretty big. It's the 130 watt laser from OhmTech. So if you get a chance, check out my Instagram. I'm going to be posting more pictures of it here shortly, but I just posted a teaser for everybody else. Just to the crate and Nap's beautiful backside. So,
back of my head, to be clear.
Back of his head.
There is no OnlyFans pictures out there right now. I mean, wait, whoops, what?
Right now, the count's set up.
Yeah, right now. Yeah,
right now.
Sawdust and Me by Nap.
Oh God.
Yeah. So otherwise, I really don't have anything else going on. I don't think. I rearranged my garage again. I've been testing out new ways of positioning things. Yeah. Well, not only that, it's because I'm gonna get that Avid CNC is going to be arriving here in the next 14 weeks. So,
dude, you need to put them things on the same wall, man. Like, I was looking at your shop today, and you've got, like, it's not like a small space, but that laser, I took a picture of your garage. That laser took, like, at least almost half of the front of your garage there.
Yeah.
And almost halfway back.
So, it's like 58 by 79 or something like that. But
something ridiculous.
So, the CNC is going to go in the back right-hand corner. I'm moving the lumber rack over to where the to where my dust collector and my what do you call it? The air compressors, the 60-gallon air compressor. And once I do that, obviously the X-Carve is going bye-bye. So that table will go away as well. I still have one X-Carve left, so that's what I'm using right now. But that table will go away, and I'll have plenty of room, plenty of space. I just need to make sure that I don't put, like, in between now and when I get the CNC machine, have any harebrained schemes that I'm like, yeah, I can fit that in there and buy something new. You know what I mean?
Which you will.
Don't worry, I will.
I got a few hundred on that one. That's going to happen. Like, if you can make me buy more tools after I said I don't want more tools, you're going to buy more tools.
I'm like the best. You know, if like, let's just say gentlemen's lounges or gentlemen's clubs had tools in them and they were dancers, right? I would have, come on, Nap, just go to the VIP section. Yeah, he's like, no, dude, I don't want to.
I mean, I would have spent all my money. Like,
he'd have left broke and in debt. Anyway.
I did for a minute there. I mean, shoot.
I got this Festool track saw. Buy me a drink.
Right. Like.
Oh, my goodness. Ooh. But anyway, I messaged Joey Steelblade as soon as I got the thing. I shot him a picture of the inside of the thing. He's like, you could sleep in there, bud. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I could. And yeah, so now I have a place to go when I get in trouble.
And you could lower and raise.
That's right. It's like, what are those sleep number beds? What's your sleep number?
Wait, hold on. But you get in trouble a lot, so you might as well just live out there. You might as well just move out there.
No, actually, I would rather go on
cable TV,
the CNC bed. I think that would be better for you.
That's true.
Freaking sleep number on the lower rack of his CNC, and the hum of the CNC puts him to sleep.
It's white noise.
Yeah, well, you never know.
Oh.
That's all that's going on in my shop, fellas. I hate to be like kind of a downer. I just got like, you ever get that high, that rush of when something shows up to your house and you're like, yes, and then you crash.
And it comes down.
Yeah.
Well, you crashed because you don't get to play with it yet.
Yeah.
You want to, but you know, like, we got obligations. And you're like, I want to go do this. Like right now, I have something on the laser that I want to go check, but we're here.
So my first obligation was to like sweep the driveway for any of the hardware that we stripped of this crate, because I don't want my wife getting a flat tire, because I know that'll come back to bite me. She'll be on the highway and be like, I got a flat tire, come help me. And then I'll be like, oh, it's my fault from a week ago. You know what I mean? So
my bad.
Like, I'm going to talk you through this. She would kill me.
First, jack the vehicle, then break the lug nuts. I mean, wait, what?
Anywho, let's talk a little bit about this 100th episode. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Actually, before we do that, let's talk about PW and CNC, since they are our biggest sponsor.
What about them? I mean, I think they got something crazy coming up next week in conjunction with their 100th episode week.
Yeah. Black and yellow.
They have the black and yellow week / Friday thing going on. And let me tell you, we just posted something recently on it. And from the 24th to the 27th, Daniel's offering 15% off everything.
Everything,
including the spindle kit. So if you have been really on the fence of pulling the trigger, this may be a better time than never. But if you wait and are even more patient and you wait until that Friday, everything is 20% off. That one day, 20% off of everything in there. Now, this may sound like an infomercial, like the ones you see at like 3 a.m, but this is probably the best infomercial for all you hobbyist CNCs out there, CNC users out there, because the spindle is probably one of the best upgrades you're going to get. And on top of that, which I'm trying to work on this, trying to figure out exactly what we're getting, but we've been talking a lot about these Jenny bits from Cadence Manufacturing Design. He actually decided he was going to throw in some bits on this 100th episode giveaway. So that's another little extra thing that's going in there. And we're probably going to pair it with Daniel's spindle kit, because why not have some awesome bits to go with an awesome spindle kit? So that's giveaway right there. There's one big one. Then, and to clarify, air-cooled spindle, folks. Okay, just so no one goes, well, I thought it was water-cooled. No, it's air-cooled spindle. And then Maker Stock, the folks that we recently became brand ambassadors for, were so nice as to throw in the laser pack starter kit. It's a bunch of material that's 12 by 20 by 1/8 inch. We're getting red, white, and blue acrylic, some Baltic birch, and some refined MDF. So that's all going out in one thing. That's kind of in conjunction with the Memorial Day holiday coming up. And then we got our block plane, our number 4, and our shoulder plane from Woodcraft, and they're a Wood River brand.
Yeah,
pretty nice planes.
Yep.
I just used mine the other day. And then we got ISO tunes.
Yeah, so the shoulder plane's the medium shoulder plane.
Medium shoulder plane. Yep.
And that's donated.
Mm-hmm.
That's donated from Woodcraft of Texas and Mr. Paul Sauter and the family down here.
And then we got
go on.
IsoTunes. Yeah, I'll say. And we got IsoTunes, IsoTune lights from IsoTunes themselves. So thank you, IsoTunes. We have a chessboard kit from Forest to Home. I think that's what's called, right, Josh?
Yep,
just making sure I said that right. Forest to Home. And then getting into the maker prizes, and I call them maker prizes because we had some pretty awesome makers donate some cool stuff as well. We have the end grain cutting board from Tim over at Gears and Fire. And we got those 2 pens from Eric over at Designs by Red Raven. He changed it.
He just changed it.
He did. He's still the
Designs by Red Raven, right?
Yeah.
I believe so. I'm checking now.
He's still the president.
Sure we screw this up every time.
President and CEO of the Pen 16 Club, though.
Designs by Red Raven.
Designs by Red Raven, awesome. And then an even bigger giveaway that's ended up being an Instagram giveaway to give everyone the opportunity that may or may not listen to the podcast or follow us or whatever the case may be. We have the 40 by 60 router sled from Clean Cut Woodworking.
Woo!
Friends over there was awesome enough to hook us up with that. That's a big router sled.
That's a big boy.
That's a big one.
He's thick.
With 2 C's. And then we got the goodie bags. So for our patrons, I will say you are going to get one of these awesome cherry veneer stickers like I mentioned. We got the Orca pads and Orca abrasives. We got the
Jorgensen clamps,
Gator
baby.
sponge. We got Jorgensen clamps. Those are also going in there. We got the Gator sponge pads, right? The abrasive pads. Is that what it is? Okay. And then Matt Voeltner over at Voeltner Woodworking gave us some clip-its. So if you've been wanting to clip it so you don't lose your pencil, well, you're getting a clip it in your goodie bag.
Check out my reels. So, it's not just good for holding pencils. So
this doesn't work. You need to clip it.
And honestly, I know, folks, that's a lot of prizes, a lot of things going on. But hey, we're going to reminisce, probably go down memory lane a little bit, coming up to the 100th episode, because a lot's happened. I mean, look at Nick, look at Josh, look at myself. I think we've had more growth in this past 50
30
episodes,
seconds,
if you will, than anything.
Sorry, what?
Awkward.
In the past 50 episodes. So, I mean, we could probably take a trip down memory lane, talk about some things that's happened since through the 50, maybe some highlights. I mean, we've had a lot of cool stuff happen.
Oh, absolutely.
And then just see where we're going from there. I mean, we've already hit the mark we talked about last episode on the amount of episodes downloaded that we were trying to reach, which was 30K. And I think we're at 32K now. So we're just moving right on up, trying to hit that 50K mark before the end of the year now. So
hey, so Donald wants to know, what are we doing? Is everybody tailgating out in front?
I mean, I'm tailgating with one of those really cool beer coaster hat things.
At the 100th?
And speaking, yeah, I'm gonna have a beer. I'm gonna try to get one of those beer helmets. I'm gonna have the beer helmet.
We need 3.
Donald Starnes just asked to meet up, and yeah, man, come on out. Nap.
I mean, why not? I mean, I got to destroy the house before these people buy it. So
exactly.
I mean,
might as well kegger.
I'm not even kidding. Like Donald, Joey, Ben, you guys are all in the area. Heck, Victor, come on, take a flight. We'll see out here. Nap's got plenty of room.
And speaking of Victor, and I'm sorry, Victor, apologies. Please don't hurt me if you come here and visit. We also have another Maker's Prize, which is Victor's Coasters.
That's right.
Those are Sawdust Nation, and those are Sawdust Nation edition. Sawdust Nation Podcast edition. Let me rephrase that.
Special.
So
I used the
special.
Victor. You remember the coasters he sent me? I used them.
Yeah.
Was I supposed to?
pretty solid.
Are those the ones we given away? I don't.
The ones that say
for us,
100th episode were the ones that we're giving away, and the ones that say Sawdust Nation Podcast are for ourselves.
Oh, well, then I definitely still used them.
Hey, they got to be pre-used, right? We got to christen them somehow?
Yeah.
No, not really.
Game used.
Don't do it.
Game worn. There we go.
Ooh, talking about having
Signed.
to break something in. Did you break your laser in with your ritual yet, or has it been dark? Not dark.
I actually messaged Jesse from Jesse for Woodworking, and I said I have a whole lot of work to do tonight because that's a massive laser. So it's going to take me a minute to work it over with my normal ritual. So
God help you.
Well, I just hope the door doesn't slam on it while I'm doing it. Never mind. All right.
Hey, talking about
easy, little fella.
Omtech lasers. With your 60 watt, did the alarm go off when it was on and you opened the door?
Yeah,
every time?
it would go beep beep beep, and then it would stop lasing. And then when you shut the door again and you hit play, it picked up right up where it left off.
When it's not actually running, far as like a job, when it's just before you start play, when it's on.
No, not unless you're. So the only time that it should give you an alarm, and I believe you can disable the alarm. I'm not recommending it, but you can disable the alarm as when you open it when the laser is actually energized and shooting a beam.
Yeah, it goes off regardless.
Well, you got a good one then.
I got to adjust that feature because I turn it on, get it ready, and I open up the lid, put the piece of whatever in there, and it beeps at me until I shut the lid. So I just have to figure out that setting. I didn't know if you knew offhand where that setting would be. But
I honestly, I have to say, Omtech lasers, the quality that I see from the laser I received with the new one, obviously, and the versatility, and plus I had the 60 watt. You now have the 100 watt. It's unrivaled for what you pay and what you get. It's unrivaled. So I know prices are going to be going up soon. So if you're on the fence, please just highly consider. If you're financially capable of doing it, now's the time to highly consider pulling the trigger because I know prices will be going up. That being said, I'm so happy that I found those lasers. Like I stumbled upon Omtech way back when, and I'm so happy about it. But look at us.
I mean,
we all got
some of the features they have on those lasers. I mean, like the way the latches for the doors. I mean, like everything is thought of. Like I can access all my mirrors no matter where they are. I can easy to align them. Nap was even impressed by some of the door panels we had. It's just sturdy. Like the whole thing is just well thought out. So
yeah,
you had a good point,
definitely
man.
is.
Prices are going up. It's time to get your laser before they do.
Hey, by the way, if you're going to go buy a laser, just get a hold of one of us. We can help you figure out which one you actually need, or help you out if you have questions about the ones you want. And I mean, we have pretty much we've went through the big three. We know people who have the 80. I've had the 60. Josh has the 100. Now I have the 130. Nap's a laser expert. We're more than willing to talk you into buying a laser. We're more than willing to push you over the edge.
Listen, let me tell you something, okay? I might be okay with lasers, but I'm really good with sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their heads. Now, we get those going. I got you. Don't worry.
Well, anyhow.
Sorry, I tried.
If you are going to buy a laser without asking us any questions or anything like that, just go ahead and put in the coupon code, the Sawdust Nation, all caps, when it asks you for a promo code. And that helps the podcast out. And also, on top of that, if you have questions about your setup and all that stuff, we can help walk you through that. But anyway, I digress.
So how about the folks watching? I don't know how many we have because, again, I don't have YouTube up because it seems to always have little mess-ups on my end when I do both for some reason. So any questions in the chat from any of our people watching?
Well, Dalton Starnes used the Woodcraft gift card he won to buy 1/8-inch roundover router bit today. So he's utilizing one of the prizes he's won during our lives. We also have They're wondering what time. Scooping over one of the comments.
We got location of house demolition.
Yep.
That's what I got in the chat.
What time is the 100th episode going to happen? And I mean, it's going to be live, obviously, special live. So,
will there be food?
And
There's got to be food. If we have people showing up, we got to order some pizzas and stuff.
we'll figure something out. What we'll do is we can put a vote out for it. We'll make sure that we get what people want. Now we're not going to go freaking like, what is it? Some kind of buffet. Okay.
No, from Sugars. We should get like meals from Sugars.
No.
the waitresses are here are nice.
That's true. It's true.
Nice enough to take your money. But anyways, no, we'll figure it out. But if we're going to actually do something, we got a few more days to plan up until next time. We got a whole week. It's not like it's going to take much to order some pizzas or anything like that and then have some beers. It's really not. So
It's true.
if people want to do this, we just got to know how many are going to show up so we make sure we feed everybody.
Hey, are you gonna? Did anybody talk about inviting AJ out? Deer in the headlights.
Awkward.
I guess I'm taking that's no. Well,
How about maybe? Hey, you two can cuddle. I mean, there'll be a bed for you to share, Josh. You
That'll
two
be
can
the
have a
first time.
reunion.
this could be like the Power Rangers reunion here. I'm just saying. And Josh texting AJ right now. He's like, hey man, do you want
this live? Hey man, we just discussed live on the podcast here right now. If you want to join us for our 100th episode giveaway down in Texas, hit me up and let me know. We look forward to hearing back.
Yeah. So
Watch, he's gonna respond and be like, "Psh, "What jokers?"
he's like,
No.
hey, has he released any more podcasts on his?
He has actually.
After
I
you?
think
Because
the
I
last
keep
one-
checking.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything.
The last one, I believe it was, he was talking about just be yourself. It shows if you're not and stuff
Yep.
like that. Which is true. Like that's a great topic. Like honestly, doing the whole social media thing's exhausting sometimes anyway, because like Nat mentioned earlier, like he's doing work stuff, he's doing, packing, he's trying to finish up jobs, he's helping other people. And sometimes Instagram and other social media platforms go by the wayside. I mean, right now, Nick's going to get really busy trying to get his laser dialed in, trying to finish those jobs, and he's going TDY. He's asking internets, or he wants to fly down to Texas.
Fly him down.
Fly down, my friend. You can go with
I'm
me.
going to start a GoFundMe for Bring AJ Down.
Go fund me.
All right, I'm starting it now. The Make AJ Go Down page.
I think you should rename that.
I think we should need to work on that name.
Or was that your intention, you dirty-minded fool?
I'm filthy. I'm sorry. I'm just in a good mood today, guys. I got a new toy.
That you don't get to play with right now. So
No, I mean,
there, took you off your pedestal. How about that?
as soon as I get done
jealous.
here, I got to go get dog food. So you're right. I can't. I can't go in the shop today.
I am absolutely serious. We are live doing the podcast. Here's
You have him on there?
Nope, I have him. I'm doing.
He's sending him a message right now. Is what he's
Oh.
doing.
We want you to join us.
Yeah, you're like the one of the cornerstones of this podcast, and usually there's 4 corners to a square. So
Right now, we're a triangle, which is a strong shape.
But we need a
for defensive
not a square,
purposes.
but we need a
Yes,
circle.
a circle. Who's in the? Okay, never mind. All right.
Yeah, it's not go down that.
Oh my goodness, guys.
I know we don't have had a whole lot to talk about. It's just like it's weird, guys. Like I don't know what it is. We're not really in a lull per se because you guys got a lot going on. But it's like I'm in the middle of these jobs.
Actually,
they're due this day.
If you want to place an order through me, go ahead. I'll take your money and then I'll make you something that you didn't want.
You guys would be proud of me. I turned down a job today.
For who?
Say what?
Was it for the dude I sent your way?
No. What dude did you send my way?
Oh man, I've been kicking everybody to Josh's way like the past 2 weeks. Like I can't do it, but I know a guy who can. So there was a guy who's trying to get like 2 flags made. I'm like, can't do it, man, because he needed it on the 9th. I'm like, I'm leaving on the 6th. There's no way.
Yeah, there's no way.
But anyway, yeah, no, and then that one lady with the crate, and then that other. I don't even think they. I don't know, man. People don't follow through when you. I try to give people recommendations.
Oh no, everyone you've mentioned to me, basically except for one, has followed through. The one with the crate did not. She just went dark.
She ghosted you. Did you send her an invoice? Did you send her the invoice?
Reminders, and like just not a reply back. So I guarantee she's gonna reach out like a week after the due date and be like, "Where's my crate?" I'd be like, "You never paid. You never said anything."
Yeah, dude, I hate that with a burning passion. It's like, "Oh yeah, I'll get with you about it." 3 weeks later, "Oh hey, did you start that crate yet?" I was like,
"No."
I canceled the invoice. I canceled it because like it was due the 13th or something like that, the 14th, and obviously we're a little past due that. But I did deny a job. Someone reached out, a prior customer, the one I did the dog crate topper for. They told me they wanted me to do a large flag coin holder, but they wanted it due by the 30th. And if that would be enough time, and I'm like, don't have time for that. Sorry, be in Texas.
Yeah, dude, that's like 2 weeks, man. So like, I get it. If we were full time, maybe that would be acceptable. So let's talk about turnaround times real quick, because I think this is important. Yeah. So especially when people order stuff from you, and we're excluding price, okay? Just price doesn't matter here. If they want something like right the freak now, and I mean that's usually within like 2 weeks. If it's a build, all right. If you have to assemble stuff, if it's just like a plaque, that should be able to. If you're gonna laser etch a square piece of wood or a rectangle, that should be like something you do in a couple days. But if you're actually gonna build a flag, a coin rack, or a shadow box, you really have to start to plan. I would say at least 6 weeks out on something like that, because not only do we have to source materials, i.e. buy felt if it's custom, buy the wood, buy the cork backer, design the darn thing. But we have other jobs that we have to do this in between. And I'm not saying that like we don't want to do it. I'm just saying that having a little pre-planning, if you are a customer looking for something like that, will guarantee you get the product that you want, as opposed to getting a recommendation for another woodworker, because that's what it's going to happen now. People start asking for stuff within like 2-3 weeks because I can't support it.
So on that planning piece, Nick, I got to say, when like we've had the perfect customer, each one of us has experienced the perfect customer. They give you everything they want up front. They give you a far enough out due date, all these things. Well, when you get those customers that are like unicorns, it seems like, and that's like less than 1% of customers these days because they want their stuff now all the time. You get that job that's a month out, or like, for example, this job that I got down here, the cherry walnut shield I'm making for a person. I don't want to say who it's for just because you never know they could listen, because we did tell this person about the podcast, and you never know they could be listening. But
they're listening because my paperwork is ready to be signed when I go to work tomorrow. No, I'm playing.
They told me exactly what they wanted, and I actually was able to think on how I was going to do this for almost 2 weeks. Like literally, was like, how am I going to put this together? What's my process going to be? How do I got to cut the shape? I think I was in Vetric for like 2 hours, just messing around, figuring out how I was going to actually cut pieces out. If I do an inside versus an outside cut, tolerances, all these things. And it's funny. And I even talked to Hiltz Builds, and he was showing me some stuff he made. And he showed me one of his little shields that he made. He pieces them together. And I'm like, that's a great idea. Why didn't I just think of it that way? And then I figured, I was like, oh, well, how can I make this to where I don't have to use a 8/4 inch piece of walnut? All these things went into the planning. But I finally was able to get started on it, and things are going together fairly well. I've had a couple oopsies. I've had to learn how to use a chisel for what it's intended for.
Yeah.
Okay, I did learn that.
Did you buy chisels?
No, he's still using the ones from the Great War.
But that is going to happen. That is on the list. I'm probably going to buy some Stanley Sweethearts. Just because I'm not a big chisel user, so I don't need anything like top of the line. Like what was that one you mentioned, Nick? Because I looked them up. They're super
Stanley.
Mm-mm.
No,
Stanley Sweetheart.
the ones that you have.
Oh no. So
the ones you told me that if I wanted to go super schwanky,
it was the Veritas ones with that super alloy that they have.
I was like, yeah, I don't need those yet. I'm not cool like that yet.
They're from not Wood River. What is it? Shoot, let me go. It's a Canadian company.
The Sweethearts will treat you well, man. They're sharp. I use them all the time. I have no complaints with them. And I haven't sharpened yet. I use them out of the box, and they're pretty sharp.
So
I'm not doing fine woodworking either. So Veritas
with the PM V11 alloys, I guess it is. That's like
how much are they?
A bunch of numbers. That means fancy.
What's that?
Said a bunch of numbers. That means fancy.
It's super like it just because they have like O2 and a different kinds of steel that you can use, but these are supposed to hold an edge for quite a bit. You know, actually, I heard the Narex chisels are supposed to be really good as well for I'll say entry, but mid-level chisels. So look up Narex and look up the Stanleys that Josh has.
So all that to say was I screwed up royally on this thing. It was probably some user error, some new flush trim bit that I didn't realize was going to do some craziness to me. It jumped on me and ate part of the shield, so I had to veneer the front of it. And I'll show you Josh later. And it'll eventually end up on a post after I give it to the person. But I actually messaged the person that asked me to make it. I said, hey, does this patch job look good to you? They're like, yeah, it looks awesome. Keep pressing. So I think it could use, I still need more work on doing the chiseling out a square and then veneering something in, just on the seam portion of it. But honestly, when I finish this thing, you're not really going to notice because one, it's at the very bottom portion of it. And there's going to be so many other details in this thing that you're not going to be able to see it. And those details, I'm using the spalted pecan that Ducky gave me and some of the mesquite Ducky gave me for some of the pieces of the shield, which is going to be pretty cool. So I'm pretty excited to finish it. But yeah, all that to say, having a lot of time to plan and do something does pay off in the long run.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Anytime. It's just going to make things go easier because you're not walking into it blind. You know what you need, you know what to do. But, as far as lead times go, as far as myself, I have it set. So 2 weeks is the minimum. If it's below 2 weeks, I'm going to charge you extra. Some jobs, I'm kind of more lenient with others. Just because a plaque that I need a laser engrave is different. But the project you're working on now, that needs to be planned for. That needs to take time and actually, do. I have something similar coming up. That's not quite like yours. Mine is going to be something where it's going to be 29-inch round.
And it's round.
Going to be it will.
Think about it.
It's going to have puzzle pieces that go into it. So
that's cool.
Oh, actually, is that the one thing? Yeah.
So Nick,
can I tell you a secret? Can I tell you a secret?
What's up?
I really didn't want to do that job. I really did not want to do that job.
Fair enough. Anywho, so long story short, it's a circular patch, and they want to cut it 8 pieces, puzzle pieces, and they want to give it to each flight so that they can put it together and then hang it up on the wall. And that's taking some planning too. Originally, they wanted it the 26th, and I'm like, I can't do that. It's going to be a pretty. In the initial invoice, put a huge rush fee, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, we can get it in June." suddenly, their rush wasn't so much. You know what I'm saying? So it's amazing when people start realizing you're going to charge for your time. Exactly what that deadline actually does. It gets pushed to the right quite a bit. So.
I don't need it that fast anyways.
Yeah, oops. But that's the key thing. You're charging for your time. If you come to me and you're like, I need something tomorrow, guess what? I'm pushing, spending time with family, maybe some sleep, maybe a meal, maybe other jobs, work sometimes. Sometimes I have to be hey, I got to take a day of leave because I got to go do something. That is all things that I have to consider. And I had a gentleman today, hopefully just listen to the podcast. He calls me up. He goes, where's your shop? It's on Fort Dix, right? I'm like, yeah. Why do you need to know? He goes, I'm going to stop by because I have a job for you. I'm like, dude, I work right now. You can't just stop by. I didn't know this guy, never talked to him before. Got the order from him, but like, and that's the disconnect, I think, is because a lot of people, when they see our profiles or see what we're doing, they think we are full time, and it's hard.
I mean, we do a lot of work, like in honestly short periods of time now. Though, I mean, we do probably comparable work to some full time like businesses sometimes.
We do, and it's very easy to have that line disappear. But I for a long time been wanting to put somewhere like, hey, I'm active duty. I have a job. You know, I have 2 kids. Like, I understand that you are paying me to do a job by a certain time, but you do realize that like things happen. I cannot always. It's not a full-time job.
I always tell them on the invoice, like, delivery times are subject to vary. You know what I mean? Like, you might get it before the date, but chances are you're either going to get it the date that I said it's going to get there, or maybe a little bit afterwards, unless it's a retirement gift, and then like a retirement or a separation or something like that. When people are trying to like present stuff, I will go through hell and high water to get it to you on time for that. But if you just like, oh, I want this flag and it'd be great to have it by the 9th of June, be like, well, I'm going to do my best to have it to you by the 9th of June. However, if I get a big old rush fee for some dude who's retiring, I don't know what to tell you, man. I have to prioritize. You know what I mean?
I will say, lessons have been learned this last week. So on Etsy, I listed those conversion charts for what, $10? Because honestly, it doesn't take much for me to build them. Dude, it cost me $13 to send one out.
Wow, that was great for you.
I made negative $3 on those.
Do you know what you should do though? Like, you make those conversion charts, but you put all the wrong measurements.
Oh, that'd be so funny. I use it like I when I first made it, I'm like, this would be nice to have in the shop, right? It's nice to have, but now I'll be doing a measurement and be like, okay, that checks, blah blah blah, and it's instant and fast, and it's great to have. But yeah, I raised the prices on those, so maybe I can make a little bit of profit off them. But the first 2 that went out, I did not.
You know what's great for making those conversion charts, right?
Laser.
A laser. That's right. Tech Laser. Check them out. Shameless plug. Hey, check it out, man.
Shameless. And then I did a hammer that went to Hawaii, and I tried to get there on time. And
did it get a tan?
2 days. Probably. I mean, it's walnut. So I did 2 days shipping on that, and that cost me an arm and a leg too.
Dude, yeah.
Lessons learned.
You know, I gotta say, being in Texas now, shipping fees aren't that bad for the East Coast or the West Coast. But before, when I was in New Jersey, shipping to the West Coast was terrible.
I'll be shipping to New Mexico at the end of June, a very large project, and I am not looking forward to that at all. So,
are you guys
looking to freight if it's big?
Yep, big.
Well, it's gonna be like rough estimate 50 by 30, but it's flat.
Oh, okay.
So, you guys ready to put a bow on it?
Yeah, let's put a bow on it and finish this off.
That is a real instructor move right there.
All right.
Put a bow on it and send her on her way.
All right, folks. Let's go ahead and thank our sponsors real quick. So we'd love to offer a huge thank you to Tech Laser for sponsoring this episode. I'm sure you could probably tell, but we really do mean it when we say that these lasers are excellent, the best bang for your buck. So check them out, ohmtechlasers.com. If you're thinking about using or buying a laser from OhmTech, go ahead and get a hold of one of us from the podcast. We will let you know our experiences, answer questions, and walk you through that buying process. And we'll even give you our little code that you can help support the podcast with when you go to check out. Next up, thanks to PWN CNC. Daniel over there is always working on something great in his shop, as Nat mentioned earlier. It's got that Black and Yellow Friday coming up, which is going to take place all week. Check them out, pwncnc.com. And for 5% off your order, if you just can't wait to pull the trigger on that spindle kit or whatnot, use promo code Sawdust Nation 981, and that will save you 5% off your order, as well as help support the podcast. And last but not least, thank you, Total Boat, for your continued support. Check them out, totalboat.com, or hit them up on the big IG at Total Boat. Nap.
If you want to take a listen to us on the old Apple Podcast, Spotify, any of the podcast catchers, there's so many different places you can listen to us. Give us 5 stars. And if you don't give us 5 stars, tell us why. So we give you the content you just deserve. And on top of that, if you do give us 5 stars, you can still send us some feedback. Let us know how we're doing. Maybe if you want to give us some kind of topic you want to specifically hear about, maybe we can educate ourselves on maybe stuff maybe we don't know too much about, or even have someone on that might be a little more of a subject matter expert on those particular topics that you send us. But also, real quick, also shout out again to Brent Jarvis of Clean Cut Woodworking. He is also giving a promo code on his sleds for the indefinite future here. It's a SDN Pod 22 for Deuce for 5% off of anything in his inventory. But if you want to get a hold of us, Josh, tell them how to get a hold of us while I run out to my laser.
Definitely plenty of ways to get a hold of us. Instagram, if you use Instagram, it's easy to get a hold of all 3 of us at Sawdust Nation Podcast. We all will try to get back to you when we can. If you want to get a hold of us individually, you can go ahead and Nick from MPG Creations. Answer questions and any topic ideas you might have for the podcast. We have Nap from Nap's Nutty Works LLC, the laser guru, Dr. Laser. Have any laser questions or even woodworking questions, he'll help you as well. And then myself, Josh from North Country Woodworking. You can hit me up on Instagram. We could talk shop, talk Facebook Marketplace, buys, questions, topics, you name it. If that's not good enough for you, you can always hit us up on our email at sawdustnationpodcast@gmail.com. And you can do the same thing. You can talk about questions, topic ideas, pictures of your latest Facebook buy, you name it. So hit us up on there. And then the ultimate way to actually hang out with us is become a Patreon on a 3rd tier. You can sit here, listen to us talk shop, record the episode, and then in the chat, interact, ask questions, or any kind of topic ideas you need or want. So with that, let's do our final words, sending it off to Nap.
Yeah, so check it out, folks. Just keep taking care of each other because, again, without everyone helping each other out, can't keep making this community stronger. But also, we got this 100th episode coming up. If you want to hear something during this 100th episode, man, let us know because the better this episode is, the better it is for everybody. And if you're in the San Antonio area and you listen to us, shoot us a message. Let us know that you may want to stop by because I'll definitely shoot that address out and we'll probably do a cool meet and greet because this will probably be the one time in a little while that all 3 of us will be together. So, yeah, go ahead and do that. Nick.
All right, folks. And like always, take care of yourselves and each other. Go ahead and check out OMTech Lasers, like I said. And just so you know, Barbie never got pregnant because Ken always came in another box.
And that goes to show you, good shipping goes a long way. I use Shippo. Oh, final words. Right. Thank you for tuning in for our 99th episode. It's been a great 99 episodes. The next time we talk or next time you listen will be, I'll be in Texas. It'll be all 3 of us together for the first time. So that is a pretty big deal on its own. We've taken this podcast so many different ways, and it's going great with the Patreons, with the sponsors, with all the listeners from around the world. We thank you. We could not be here without you. The community we have built here is just amazing, and we want to continue building that. So that being said, turn us on so we can whisper in your ear, either on a flight in the wood shop, going to work, drinking that coffee. And if you just want to make people laugh and talk wood shop, turn us on in the office, introduce us to another woodworker so we can, whisper in their ear as well. With that, Sawdust Nation is signing off with the 99th episode. See ya.
$99. Hey.
Okay, bye. Have a nice time. See you later.
Why do male squirrels swim on their backs? Got to keep their nuts dry.